guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a product review. Man, it's been a busy day. It's Sunday, I'm filming. I went for breakfast before I started filming because, let's face it, I was hungry. I did have a full face of makeup on with just some mascara. I went very easy on my eyes today just because it's an easy day for me. And it is a winter storm outside in Toronto, so I kept it very simple. I did glow up the skin, I did put foundation on, but I'm going to talk about that foundation today. So the foundation for review is my L'Oreal Infalible ProGlow foundation. I'm in the shade Sun Beige 208. This is actually the same, Sun Beige is the same color I use for the Pro Matte. And I have to say that this is one of the more drugstore preferred glowy foundation options. Now keep in mind, not everyone is going to love a glowy foundation finish. So what I suggest is, if you want to try a glowy foundation, definitely try it in the winter when your skin is more dry. Because for me personally, and I'm an oily girl in the summertime, I can pull off glowy foundations, but it's in the colder months. So unfortunately, I kind of have to wait for the colder months to come around for me to actually pull a glowy foundation off. Now with that said, I have to say that this is a really great drugstore option. It is a thinner, runnier consistency, so it's not as thick as the Pro Matte is. It is claimed to be wears up to 24 hours. It's a medium coverage, and the texture is air light. So yes, I agree that the texture is very much air light. I agree that it is medium coverage. You can build it up if you want to go that extra layer, but I personally don't. I just use a quarter size amount on my back of my hand. I dab it all around, and I use a buffing brush, or I use a beauty blender, depending on what kind of coverage I want that day. So today I used a buffing brush. It gave me a more fuller coverage. With glowier foundations, you have to use a buffing brush because the formulation to this is very liquidy. So if you use a beauty blender, the beauty blender will soak up most of the product, and you really get a very light coverage. When you use a buffing brush, you get your full coverage. So just keep that in mind. If you do mix it, because I like to mix this with other matte foundations and I get a satin finish. So that is what I like to do best with this foundation in particular. Because I'm more of an oily girl in the T-zone, I try to mix in a matte foundation with this so that I can get a satin finish all around, but in my T-zone, I'm not as oily as I would be with just a regular glowy foundation. It's all preference, you guys. It's all preference. I can give you guys my opinions, but really it's going to be preference with your skin type, the way your skin reacts to radiant foundations, your preference. If you like matte, if you like radiant and glowy, it's all about preference. So let me tell you right now, if you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on a glowy foundation, definitely check out the L'Oreal ProGlow. It's definitely one that, you know, is more on the affordable side. I think it's a $20 area, more on the affordable side, and you don't have to buy the look for expensive. You can get the look at a more decent cost. So I've had this now for a year, this foundation, and I do believe that usually foundations expiry is about a year. So I'm about down to here now. I've used quite a bit of it up, and I started using it when it got cold here in Canada. So around November time frame, I was mixing this in with other foundation. I was using it by itself. I actually have it on by itself with a powder to set on top right now. And if you can tell, and I've only worn it for like a couple hours, my nose has started to kind of peek through. The redness in my nose started to peek through, but everywhere else seems to be still not bad at all. I tend to always get breakdown around my nose area because when I blow my nose, when my nose gets oily, usually that's the quickest section between there and my chin. My chin is actually holding up pretty well, I have to say. So, my thoughts. I'll tell you something, and I'm going to be totally honest like I always am. It's a great foundation if you love a glowy, radiant finish. I am about a glowy, radiant finish in the wintertime because my skin can personally handle it during that time. In the summer, this is a no bueno foundation. I'm being honest. In the summertime, it's a no bueno foundation because in the heat, this will come off really fast. It's very emollient. It's very slippery. So this will not last in the summertime. If you are looking to try the foundation, or you're looking for that glowy finish right now, I would say this is one of the best drugstore options out there in the cold months. In the summertime, I would, if I were you and you were oily, what I would do is use a matte foundation and then glow up your skin with a highlighter to make you glowy that way. Wintertime, it's easier to use a glowy foundation because of the cold. Your skin is dehydrated, your skin is dry from the cold weather. It'll take more to the more hydrating foundation than opposed to the summertime. So that is what my recommendations are. I do like this. I do enjoy it. I am trying to use it up because it is coming to the expiry date. Once I do use it up, I will repurchase next winter because by then I will need another glowy foundation. But I will not repurchase until next winter because I just can't use this in the summertime. This is not something I can use all year round. This is something I can only use seasonal. So keep that in mind. If you really love the foundation, if you really want to stock up, what I would say is just get one, use it in the winter, use it up. When spring comes around, you're probably going to change up your foundation anyways due to the weather. And then come fall, winter next year, you definitely go pick up another one of these because that's what I usually do, and I think that it works out well that way. So great foundation. For my particular skin type, I can only use it in the wintertime. However, if you're dry all year round, then I say that maybe you could pull this off all year round. Again, it depends on your personal preference and your skin type. I can't tell you whether or not you're going to like it. I can't tell you whether or not, it's going to work for your skin. You're going to have to try it out for yourself. I can tell you from my experience with my skin type, I am very dry on the outside and I can get oily in my T-zone. In the winter, like I said, I can pull this one off much more because I'm drier on the skin. So this will definitely hold on to my skin more than it would so more in the summer. Does that make sense, you guys? I'm just trying to give you guys an honest review because it's not a bad product at all. It just depends on your skin at the time, what your skin is like, if it's combination oily, combination dry, if it's very dry, if it's super oily, or if it's normal. If it's normal, you might be able to pull it off. For someone who's oilier in the summer, they won't be able to use this in the summer, but in the winter, they might be able to use this. So keep that in mind, that when you're using a glowy foundation, depending on your skin, it'll be the one to tell you what part of the year you're going to be able to wear something like this in particular. For me personally, in the wintertime, I don't always like to wear this on its own. Like, I wore it on its own today, and I'm fine, because I'm wearing it for a short period of time. If I know I'm going to be out longer in the cold weather, and I need my foundation to last a lot longer, then I would mix this with a matte foundation. Usually I mix it with the Pro Matte from L'Oreal, and it wears a lot longer on me. It claims that it's 24-hour wear on its own. I don't really think that it's 24-hour wear. Again, it might be 24-hour on a normal or dry skin, but for me, because I'm combination, it doesn't wear that long on me. So on its own, I can probably get away with about 5 hours. That's like I would say the longest. And then, there's a lot of like breaking down I'll start to see around my my facial, my laugh lines, my chin, my nose, in that area. But I don't think it's 24-hour wear. I think that is a bit of a gimmick. And I think that not any foundation can last up to 24 hours. And why would you want it to last up to 24 hours? I mean, you mean you're not going to be sleeping? Like, you're not going to be taking off your makeup to sleep? It just boggles my mind when they say 24-hour wear. 12-hour wear, 16-hour wear, I can see them, claiming. But 24-hour wear in a foundation is quite a big statement, and it's just not that long of a wear time for me particularly. When I mix it with other foundations that are more matte, it is definitely, I would say, a more like 12, 15-hour wear. But on its own, for me, I give it about 5 hours before certain areas break down. 6 to 7 hours if I could push it to 6 to 7 if I really used a great setting powder and it set my entire makeup, like locked it in place. I would give it up until 6 to 7 hours with a great setting powder. But I did use my BB powder to set, and my BB powder from Physicians Formula is more buttery and hydrating. So when I set it on top of this, it just doesn't last as long. Now, I've tried it on its own with no powder, and I can tell you right now, it does not last 24 hours. I hate to say it, but it's true. However, I still like this foundation. It's a great foundation. You just got to know your skin type, how it works with glowy foundations, when to use it for, whether in the summer, spring, winter, fall. It all depends on the season. I like it. thumbs up. I will repurchase next winter when I do need another one. I am coming down to the bottom of this one, so once I finish this, it'll be done for the year, and then I will not pick up another one until probably late fall of 2018, because that's when I'll need it again, when the air starts to change and get colder. Yeah, so that is what I think about this product. Not a bad product at all. It's actually quite nice. I do enjoy it. It's one of those things where you have to pay attention to these items when you're trying products, because you might not necessarily like it in a certain season, but in the opposite season you might enjoy it depending on the weather. The weather affects a lot of things, and your skin is one of them. So just keep that in mind. I think that's all I have to say. I'm not 100% sure if I have a L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation review. If I don't, I will definitely post one in the coming weeks. But let me know down below what your favorite glow foundation is, what your favorite radiant foundation is. I want to know. I'm curious. I want to try out different ones, and who knows, I may go and purchase another one, another radiant foundation if we still have cold weather up until the end of March. God knows, you know, I might need another radiant foundation until then. So yeah, let me know down below. I'm curious to know what other people's preferences in glowy foundations are. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more giveaways coming up in the near future. Bye. Mwah.